Most people think the only way to boost your testosterone is through heavy weights, intense sprints, or expensive supplements. They are completely ignoring the most powerful tool already at their feet. The truth is that your body is a finely tuned machine that responds more to consistency and low-level movement than it does to the occasional hour of suffering in the gym. If you want to optimize your hormones, you have to look at what you are doing during the other 23 hours of your day. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how a daily walking habit reconfigures your internal chemistry to maximize testosterone production. You will discover why your current workout routine might actually be suppressed by your sedentary lifestyle and how walking acts as the missing link to unlock your physical potential. This is about more than just steps. It is about building an environment where your hormones can thrive. To understand why walking is so effective, we first have to look at the biggest enemy of testosterone in the modern world: cortisol. Think of testosterone and cortisol as being on a seesaw. When one goes up, the other almost always goes down. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone. In small bursts, it is helpful. But in our modern world, we are under constant low-level stress from work, screens, and lack of movement. This keeps cortisol elevated all day long. When cortisol stays high, your body enters a state of survival rather than a state of thriving. It assumes you are in a high-stress environment where building muscle or maintaining high testosterone levels is not a priority. This is where the magic of walking comes in. Unlike a high-intensity workout that can actually spike cortisol even higher, walking is a low-intensity activity that signals to your nervous system that you are safe. Here is the part most people miss. Walking acts as an active recovery for your nervous system. It shifts you from the sympathetic state, which is fight or flight, into the parasympathetic state, which is rest and digest. When you spend 30 to 60 minutes walking every day, you are effectively pushing down the cortisol side of that seesaw. As cortisol drops, your body finally has the hormonal breathing room to let testosterone levels rise back to where they should be. But here is the problem. Most people think that because walking is easy, it is not doing anything. They believe that if they aren't gasping for air, they aren't changing their body. That could not be further from the truth. While heavy lifting is great for signaling muscle growth, walking is what manages the baseline environment of your blood chemistry. If your baseline is stressed and inflamed, no amount of bench pressing will give you the hormonal profile you want. This leads us into the second major impact of walking: its effect on body fat and a very specific enzyme called aromatase. This is where things get interesting. Testosterone does not just sit in your body undisturbed. It is constantly being managed and converted into other things. One of the biggest threats to a man's testosterone is an enzyme called aromatase, which is primarily found in body fat. This enzyme has one job: take your hard-earned testosterone and convert it into estrogen. The more body fat you carry, especially around your midsection, the more aromatase you have. This creates a vicious cycle. Lower testosterone makes it easier to gain fat, and more fat leads to more aromatase, which lowers your testosterone even further. Breaking this cycle is the only way to see real change. While diet is the biggest factor in fat loss, walking is the ultimate tool for maintaining a calorie deficit without triggering the massive hunger spikes that come with intense cardio. When you do a high-intensity interval training session, your body burns a lot of calories in a short time, but it also creates a massive surge in appetite. Most people end up eating back those calories and then some. Walking, however, burns calories steadily without making your brain scream for sugar. It is the most sustainable way to lean out. As you lose that body fat, you are effectively removing the factories that convert your testosterone into estrogen. By walking every day, you are protecting your testosterone from being stolen. Now, you might be thinking that you already walk enough at work or around the house. But there is a massive difference between incidental movement and a dedicated, purposeful walk. When you walk with purpose, your heart rate enters a specific zone that improves blood flow and circulation throughout the entire body. This is crucial because testosterone is transported through the blood. Better circulation means that the hormones produced in your endocrine system can actually reach the tissues that need them. It also means that waste products and inflammation are cleared out of your system more efficiently. If you are sedentary for most of the day, your blood flow becomes sluggish. This leads to systemic inflammation, and inflammation is a known testosterone killer. Walking keeps the pipes clean and the delivery system optimized. Here is a surprising fact that acts as a pattern interrupt for most people. More is not always better when it comes to exercise and hormones. There is a U-shaped curve for testosterone. On one end, you have sedentary people with low T. On the other end, you have extreme endurance athletes who often have lower testosterone than average because they are constantly overtraining and overstressing their bodies. Walking sits right in the sweet spot of that curve. It provides enough movement to stimulate health but not enough stress to cause a hormonal crash. This brings us to the importance of the night shift. Most of your testosterone is produced while you are asleep, specifically during deep REM cycles. If your sleep is poor, your testosterone will be poor. Walking plays a massive role in regulating your internal clock, also known as your circadian rhythm. If you take your walk outside in the morning or during the daylight hours, the natural light hitting your eyes sets a timer in your brain. This tells your body when to be alert and when to start producing melatonin later in the evening. People who walk daily tend to fall asleep faster and stay in deep sleep longer. By walking during the day, you are essentially preloading a better night of testosterone production. If you skip the movement and stay under artificial lights all day, your body never gets the signal to shut down properly, and your testosterone production suffers the consequences. But here is the catch: not all walking is created equal. If you are just shuffling your feet for 5 minutes, you won't see these results. To truly impact your testosterone, you need to hit a certain threshold of volume and intensity. You don't need to run, but you should be walking at a pace where you could still hold a conversation, though you might be slightly out of breath. This is often called zone to movement, and it is the golden zone for metabolic health. Let's talk about the practical takeaways you can start using today to maximize these effects. First, aim for a minimum of 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day, but don't just do them all at once. Try to break them up. A 10-minute walk after every meal is one of the most effective things you can do for your hormones. It blunts the blood sugar spike from your food, which reduces insulin resistance. High insulin is another major factor that suppresses testosterone, so managing your blood sugar through short walks is a massive win. Second, try to do at least part of your walking in a natural environment. Research shows that walking in green spaces like parks or forests reduces cortisol significantly more than walking on a treadmill or in a busy city. If you can get away from the noise and the concrete, your nervous system will respond even more favorably. Third, use walking as your primary recovery tool. If you had a heavy leg day or a stressful day at the office, don't just sit on the couch. A 20-minute evening walk will help flush out the stress of the day and prepare your body for that crucial sleep-time testosterone boost. It is the bridge between the stress of life and the recovery of sleep. The reason most people fail to see results with their health is that they look for the most complicated solution possible. They want the secret pill or the extreme workout. But the body doesn't work that way. It responds to the signals you give it every single hour of every single day. When you walk daily, you are telling your body that you are active, that you are not under extreme survival stress, and that you have a healthy, lean composition. When you send those signals consistently, your body rewards you. It optimizes your testosterone. It improves your mood. It sharpens your focus. Walking is the foundation upon which all other physical progress is built. Without it, you are trying to build a house on sand. With it, every other thing you do, the lifting, the eating, the sleeping, becomes twice as effective. Remember, testosterone is not just about muscle. It is about your drive, your energy, and your overall sense of well-being. It is the fuel that keeps you moving through life with confidence. By simply stepping outside and moving your body through space for an hour a day, you are taking control of your internal chemistry in a way that few other things can match. It is easy to start, but the real benefits come from the people who are still doing it 6 months from now. Make it a non-negotiable part of your identity. You are someone who moves. You are someone who prioritizes their hormonal health. You are someone who understands that the simplest path is often the most effective. If this made you think differently about how you treat yourself, I put together a simple healthy eating ebook that breaks this down in a very practical way. It's not a diet, just clear guidance to help you make better food choices every day. You can find the ebook linked in the description and in the pinned comment if you want to go deeper.